Now, they are the invisible kingmakers, gathering crowds for politicians while on the campaign trail, pushing their agendas in the community. However, once the election season ends, most are left physically, socially, and economically drained, with their fortunes hardly changing. Now, during the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a recent report highlights the plight of women political mobilizers, with some sharing their own experiences. Take a look.
The then man that I lived with, one day he really quarreled me. He came drunk and he really fought me. Mpaka asubuhi. I remember I did not sleep. I had a small child who was breastfeeding. I was doing my KCSE and doing my courses at KCA. So sometimes I look back, people think I'm strong. I can't tell you how I managed to do all that.
That was May describing the abuse she underwent while preparing to run for the Lainisaba ward seat in 2017. As an aspirant at the time, May was an unlikely candidate as a mother of 4 trying to sit for her KCSE exams 17 years after dropping out of high school. Even though she went on to win, her story of abuse is told by countless other women who dared to venture into the political space.
Thank you very much.
It's what necessitated this report by Badili Africa that looked at the type of violence specifically women political mobilizers go through.
Women were in limbo, so what do we do, you know? I almost got stabbed while campaigning. Someone came with a razor blade trying to disfigure my face because I party hopped from party A to party B, and people are angry with me because I have belonged to this party for such a long time. It's like I cannot exercise my political autonomy.
And what Binna just described is the tip of the iceberg. Sadly, many of these experiences from women political mobilizers happen without ever being reported.
You'll find a man abused a woman because she was in a supporting different political party, and the guy was supporting a different political party. You find because a woman said, me, I'm abstaining, for example, from going to vote because I don't see any candidate that I prefer, but men abuse them, and these cases never reached the report.
The study that looked at focus groups in Madare, Kayole, Mukuru and Kawangware found women political mobilizers would get direct threats of physical attacks, physical assault, rape, undressing in public, verbal insults, and social shunning, among other forms of violence. Some of the recommendations included having more women in political party leadership, as well as a women political mobilizers federation to help them work better.
Because we saw a lot of women who said it was the goons of so-and-so or the goons of this particular party. But we see them going scot-free. So it is one of our recommendations that the ORPP plays a more proactive role in ensuring that women political mobilizers are protected and also mainstreamed within the Political Parties Act.
Political parties still do not have set political GBV reporting mechanisms. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission and the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties also don't have serious mechanisms to sanction political parties that violate the constitutional requirements on gender equality.
I think also to influence how we look at electoral security in elections, right? And ensure that we do not leave any key player out, that it's just not about political candidates and voters, that there are so many players in between, you know, whether they are political brokers, whether they are political mobilizers, there's so much. There are other key players who influence democracy and the outcomes of democracy and elections in ways that are not visible to our eyes.
Badili Africa hopes this report will empower the hundreds of women who risk their safety, reputations, and at times lives for the men and women who eventually hold the title honorable.